Hello everyone, I hope you're taking it easy and your day has been great thus far. For this video we'll be continuing through our unbagging series with Combat Patrol issue 4, and Combat Patrol is for the Warhammer 40,000 game setting, and this particular issue is obviously part of the Australian release, so it's going to come out this year being 2026, in the early quarter part of 2026. So issue number 4, getting straight into it. Nice little visual image of the Ultramarines versus the Tyranids on the front, which I suspect could be probably artwork reused from Leviathan. The Terminator Captain, which is one of the models from issue number 1, and I suspect that's probably the Winged Tyranid Prime, also from issue number 1. Now, in terms of this issue, what was included, we get 3 paints: Macragge Blue, Barak-Nar Burgundy, and Wraithbone, as well as a starter brush. So definitely not too bad. So it's not model centric, it's just hobby supply centric, but can't go wrong with 3 bottles and a paintbrush, given that a bottle of paint's what, $6, so easily makes up for the price of the issue. So getting straight into it, so from the contents page, so some of the information about painting, so intro to painting, applying paint and undercoating, and then there'll be a bit of a guide on painting Space Marines and Tyranids, most likely with the 3 paints included. There will be some story information regarding the Silver Templars. Now, in one of the previous issues, it might have been issue 2, don't quote me, I was having a little bit of a dilemma as to who was on the front cover. It was not the Ultramarines, it was the Silver Templars. In terms of the collection, so there'll be some information about the Space Marine characters and Tyranid characters, which we'll see in a minute, and then from the play side of things, introduction to Desperate Measures, which could be a mission, and then data sheets and attack sequence. So, how to paint. Just a basic painting setup here with your paints, palette pad, starter brush, and a paper towel, wash pot, your models obviously. And I'm dubious as to why the actual Combat Patrol magazine is there, but I suspect it's to instruct on what, I was going to say on what points, on how to paint. It's always nice to have a little read about that. So just going through some of your essentials, which, you know, to be honest, I wasn't aware of when I first started painting. There'll be some information about paintbrushes, so starter brush, base brush, dry brush, layer brush, and a texture spreader. Your techniques, when there is too much paint on the bottle, when there is too little paint, and then just some quick points about the paint bottles themselves. So once again, it's just basic introductory information on the painting. There's some information about techniques, your first, second, and third coating, so always helps to do multiple coats, just make sure that they're thin coats. The drying time between layers, etc., cleaning your brush, changing your paint water. And yeah, so that's the basic technique side. In terms of the how to paint, so it's going straight into the Space Marines and Tyranids, so they would have been the models from at least issue 1. In fact, there's probably the Infernus Marine here, so that would have been issue 3. So here we have the steps for applying the Macragge Blue. Now, I would have preferred an undercoat, like an actual black undercoat, before applying the Macragge Blue. People's mileage will vary, so pretty much comes down to paint how you wish to paint. But in saying that, I think paints have also improved a lot over the years, so I think you can also get away with doing base coats of your main color without an actual undercoat. As for the Tyranids, so they've used Wraithbone as the base coat color. So you have your Macragge Blue Ultramarines on the left and your Wraithbone Tyranids on the right. So issue 1, the Von Ryan Sleepers I think was issue 2, and the Infernus Marines I believe was issue 3. Story information: Bonds of Honor. about the Silver Templars. So there's a nice image of a Silver Templar here. What is this? Sergeant Ascaton Squad fight back the foul warriors of the Death Guard. I usually don't read through these during these types of videos, but who knows, if someone says please read through the lore, that'd be great. I probably wouldn't do it in this particular video. It might be something I would do completely separately. Yeah, so we've got a decent few paragraphs worth of story information there. Is this magazine going to hold up between now and the end? I have no idea. Space Marine characters. So, some of the Space Marine characters that we will end up getting throughout Combat Patrol, for at least Space Marines. Terminator Captain, who's from issue 1. Bike Mounted Chaplain, and a Librarian, also in Terminator armor. This will be in a few issues' time. Maybe around issue 10, plus or minus. I am not too sure when the Bike Mounted Chaplain came out. I'm sure if I looked it up, it wouldn't be an issue, but it's not on my immediate memory. It's probably somewhere in the teens, I would imagine. Given that I think by issue 20, the Tyranids and the Space Marines are pretty much done and dusted, and Combat Patrol is rolling over into the other armies. Typical D6 generator table here. What do we have here? So, origins and titles, just to give your Terminator Captain a bit of thematic backstory. Same with the Chaplain and the Librarian. And then the Tyranid characters also get a D6 generator. So the Winged Tyranid Prime. What is number 2? The Parasite of Mortrex. Now, I'm not sure to which issue that comes out. Similar to what I said about the Bike Mounted Chaplain. I do know it's definitely an included model within the actual physical box for a Combat Patrol for the Tyranids. But yes, regardless, D6 generator table just to provide a name and some backstory. Okay, Desperate Measures. What do we have here? So, looks like we're pretty much going straight into the data sheets and understanding some of that. So Desperate Measures is indeed a mission. So what do we have here? Infernus Marines and the 3 Infernus Marines and a Von Ryan Sleeper. So there's the how to win and the challenge, the battle. So we do go through a simulated battle sequence, which is always nice. So between the Space Marine and the Tyranid turn. And then here we go into information about data sheets and the attack sequence. So a breakdown of what to expect on the data sheets. So this is definitely 10th edition. This is what I've effectively come back to 40k wise. The attack sequence, so selecting your targets, doing your hit rolls, your wounds, and your saving rolls. And then doing your damage. Obviously that's a very high level view of everything. But yes. Always a nice thing, and I always do like seeing some of these quick little table charts of your wound rolls. Well, not so much your hit rolls, but especially your wound rolls and your saving throws. Last page, just going over the whole Combat Patrol magazine. I have these nice little wound markers, which I've said in previous videos. I'll probably just keep them there. The paints, the brushes, and all of the patrols we will get between now and issue 90. Wow, things did start falling apart. Okay, issue number 5. What can we expect to see in that? There will be a special Infernus Marine Sergeant. The intent is to basically just replace the Sergeant that was included in the previous issue of 5. And then issue 6, there will be 5 Barb Gaunts. So we're doing a bit of a flipping between Space Marine Tyranids, Space Marine Tyranids. So that was a run through of issue 4 of Combat Patrol. Now, what else was included? We obviously got this starter brush. Clearly says starter brush. I do like how they're actually covered, so it's got an okay tip about it. Being a starter brush, it's going to do most things okay. Some things will be a bit better. I don't know if you would go detailing crazy with it, but hey, it is a starter brush. As for the 3 paints, typical Citadel, no longer Citadel color anymore, it's Warhammer color, so these are going to become collector's items. Well, the sticker anyway. So there is the Wraithbone, the Macragge blue, and the base of Barak-Nar Burgundy. So we have those 3 base colors. Because this issue came out recently, they're still somewhat liquidy. They haven't been opened, so obviously the seal is still fresh. It's definitely going to be a case of mix very, very well. The Wraithbone's probably a good example because you can actually see where the pigment has started to separate from the fluid. I mean, down there is obviously a good example of the degree of separation. A little bit weird, but yeah. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the unbagging and little page through of issue 4 of Combat Patrol, as per the Australian release. Has been fun looking through the issue. Looking forward to obviously going through issue number 5 next week and continuing through the release of the magazines. So at this point in time, still continuing to a weekly format just because it is easier that way, and I can still maintain the weekly release of Imperium, which tends to be the end of the week. Thank you very much for watching this unbagging video. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. It does help support the channel and I do appreciate it. Extra content is also on my Instagram and the YouTube community tab. It may not be 40k centric, but it is just trying to keep up to date with what I'm currently working on. With that being said, stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in next week's video, whether it's issue 5 of Combat Patrol, something else 40k related, or just something else on the channel. See ya.